Sorry.
Welcome everybody, Public Utilities Commission meeting Tuesday, October 27th. Jason, roll call.
Okay. Hassan,
Here.
Quorum, Paul,
Here.
Nolan,
Here.
Kreisel.
Here.
Oh, is Pat here? Pat's here?
Yep.
Oh, that's Water 6. Okay. Kreisel,
Here.
T. Winkle,
Here.
Wecken. Okay, well, we have 4.
Cool. So let's go jump down right into it. So number 2, discussion and possible action on the 2021 water utility budget report. I know that Kip had sent this out and wrote to all you guys. If you guys had questions, to send them up. Did anybody have questions on this? Or Kip, did you have anything else you wanted to add in?
No, I'll just kind of do a quick walkthrough on it. If you look at the issue sheet, the 2021 water budget is balanced, but must use some cash reserves to cover some capital costs listed on the budget summary page. And what I'll do here, I'm going to share my screen just so everybody can see what we're talking about. Can everybody see that now?
It's just like
Now we can.
Yep,
Okay. So just kind of reading off my summary sheet, the capital costs include finishing up the meter program, State Highway 35 project, and replacing and repairing some roofs at some facilities. We've used revenue projects based on no new increases in water rates in 2021. We're not expecting any. We are in the process currently of that rate case down in Madison. But with all the questions that they have, we're not anticipating any new increase in 2021. With that said, it could happen, but we're not anticipating that. So that's why we're using revenues based off of current what we currently have. So if we do go through this is the water that you're looking at now. So if we scroll all the way down to the bottom, our projected revenues are 3,620,199. And then if we go through, I've done my budget the same way I've always done it. If you notice when you go through here, you've got your categories up here: water pumping, water treatment, well 10, things like that. And then what I do, I go through in here in my budget notes, I put kind of what this is for. So this 32,000 is for a well 5 rehab filter inspection, in well 9 AC unit. I can't read the rest of it because you guys are, here, maybe I can move you. There we go. So you can kind of see what we're looking at doing, throughout the year, and then the anticipated cost of that. So if we just kind of scroll down, I don't know if anybody had any questions on line to line.
Hey, Kip, I actually do have one question.
Sure. Yeah, you bet.
So hydrant painting, none for 21?
We did have hydrant painting in, oh no, I took that out. Yes.
Yeah.
I did take out hydrant painting for 2021. Yes.
And then
we're just going to skip a year on it.
700 for the Highway 35. That must be the cash reserves we have to hit.
Yeah, that's going to be that will get down. I'll walk through that, Kurt. So if we get down here to our year-to-date comparisons, it's given us our revenues right here. The 3.6 million. It's given us our expenses by activity through here, and it comes to about 4.6 million. Now, once we get down here, if we take out our depreciation, when we take out our capital expenses, our budget balances to the tune of a positive of $8,297. Now, again, that is using, if you look at the notes down here, the following items are capital expense will need to be paid for with cash reserves. So we've got $50,000 for the cross connection inspection. We were hoping to have that off the books in 2020, but with COVID, it's pushed it. We didn't get everything done that we wanted to get done this year. So there actually will be a savings this year, but we're just moving it forward to the 2021 budget. Same thing with the 225,000 for meters, 3,000 for billing equipment. We are billing is moving up to the service center. It's going to be leaving City Hall and moving up to the service center. Bills will still be sent and mailed to the City Hall, but we'll be doing all the processing up there. Chrissy will actually be moving from City Hall up by us. The 700,000 is the State Highway 35 project. 4,500 upgrade our Windows. Our SCADA system is currently on Windows 7, and we need to upgrade that to a Windows 10 because they're not supporting Windows 7 much anymore.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what we're doing there. We've got about 4,500 in chemical feed pumps. We had all of our roofs evaluated this year on all of our properties, and they're all in repair or in need of something. But we kind of took two of them here, Well 7 and the North Hudson Booster Station. Those are pretty much in need of a lot of work. So we're hoping to get them in this year for 47,000. Some dehumidifiers for at the plants for 4,500, and then some new mag meters at the plants for 14,000. So this area here that you're seeing is what I'm asking to use cash for. So.
Yep, this is Dave. I got a couple of questions quick too on those expenses. That $700,000 that Kurt was alluding to and everything, that's just our cost to get that started?
That's our complete cost. That's our estimated cost for Highway 35 for the Highway 35 project.
Okay.
That's going to start spring of 20. That's water. Sewer, we'll get to that when we get to that one. So it's 700,000 just for the water improvements that are going to be done on the Highway 35 project. Now that's just with the state project. We had hoped to do some stuff outside of the state project, outside the state boundaries. But between the utilities and public works, we pulled all of that out.
Okay.
It was just gonna complicate things. It was gonna be way more money because there's more road repair that needed to be done and different things like that. So yeah, that 700,000, Dave, is just for the State Highway 35 project water.
Okay. And then the second question I've got quick is Well 7 North Hudson boost roof replacement. That is our equipment, correct? And not North Hudson's?
We're working through that right now. As of right now, I'm budgeting for it without actually having a definition of who owns what over there. I believe we do own that booster station. I don't know with with what's happening with North Hudson where that's going to go. But for now, it is a need, so I am budgeting for it.
Okay.
Normally we have made the repairs and things on that property. Yes.
Hopefully in 2021 we get some of that stuff sorted out.
Yep.
Question.
Hey, Kip,
Yeah.
if you go back up to the colorful pages, to the last colorful page, and this is just a question in general. So it would be near the bottom, personnel. There's personnel, contractual, negative
Yep.
18.34%. Just curious. I mean, are we light staffed? What brings that on?
No, we're not like staffed. If you actually go, what they're doing, I believe that there was a reduction. Oh boy, I'd have to really look again, and I'd have to talk to finance on that. Finance sets all the numbers up with salaries.
Yeah, and I apologize.
things
I
like
didn't
that.
add it all up. I just saw that.
Yeah.
number.
I want to say that there was a reduction somewhere up here. I'd have to really dive through, Kurt, without giving you an explanation, without being wrong.
No,
It's a good number. We'll take it.
Yeah, I
no,
mean,
I
you know,
like it. I
in-
just don't know if
in-
we're light staffed, short staffed, what?
No, we're not short staffed. I think a lot of it has to do with reallocation of where people are actually spending their time.
Oh, so
I
if
know
I
I
look
had-
at sewer, it might actually be the other.
I know I had sent out, I know I had sent out an email on that at one point.
Okay.
Just kind of talking about, here we're at personnel is a 1.91% increase. The finances actually, we're trying to capture a little bit better where people are actually working instead of just plugging numbers in. We're trying to say, okay, if they're working on hydrants, if they're working on meters, if they're working on, administrative, what are they doing and where is that affecting the budget? So I guess that's about the best answer I can give you right now, Kurt, without diving right into it.
Yeah, I mean, like Dave said, I'll take the number. I like it, but
That was a good question. So the way
I mean,
I'm-
as much as I like to question increases, I always wonder where the decreases are coming from, and that's substantial versus the increase in sewer. So
for
Now,
sure.
and keep in mind that this is with a, like I said in my email when I sent this out, this is with a 2% increase for staff. But then you also take into account, and this could have something to do with I know, like I fell off this year on the 5-year STEP program. Hudson has a 5-year program that when you become hired, you're on a 5-year program until you reach your maximum. So I know I fell off that 5-year step this year. There might be a couple others, but basically there is a 2% increase in here. There is the continuation of some of our staff are still on the 5% or still on the 5-year program. And then also we did also include in here the hiring where our share, I want to say our share is 10 or 15% of the new GIS staff member that City Hall had put on. So that's also included in here, yeah.
Kip, did we already take away the chlorination process out of the treatment plant? And did we move over to the infrared yet, or is that still?
No, they're no longer chlorinating down there. We only have to chlorinate during summer months.
Okay.
So the chlorination is done for the year, and that's why now down at the plant, when you drive by, you can see that they're actually taking them contact tanks out right now.
Okay, so would it be a safe assumption that next year we could even potentially see this number even get a little bit lower, because then we're not going to have to pay for the training and we're not going to have to pay for all that chemical anymore, right?
Well, you'll probably see some chemical costs possibly go down, but then you're going to have, the bulbs, cost of the bulbs, you're going to have, the electricity costs, different things like that. I believe when SEH did the study, and I'd have to go back through and look at it, I want to say it was a slight increase in maintenance costs going with the UV. But the benefits of the UV is obviously safety is a huge one. Where the guys aren't dealing with chlorine gas and things like that and storage and things of that nature. So
Right.
So
Okay.
I want to say it's a wash, or it might even just be slightly more expensive to do the UV. But I'd have to go back and relook at that entire study.
Just curious.
Any other questions on water?
Just a quick one too, Kip, and I know we touched on this today when we talked on the phone and everything, is that was there any talk about the budgeting process in regards to late payments, no payments from consumers and things like that in regards to the budget for this next year?
No, basically we have, the state of Wisconsin we still have in place the ability to add non-payments at the end of the year to the tax roll. That has not changed. But the only thing that's really changed is we can't shut people off anymore for non-payment, but we never have anyway. So none of that has changed. So at the end of the year, when they do the audit and everything comes back together, we figure out who owes what, and then that actually just gets turned over to the county for tax roll.
Okay.
So none of that has changed. No.
Hi, Kip, and everyone, do you have any idea what that number ballpark, I'm not asking for specifics, but with COVID going on, what that number might be going on tax rolls?
I haven't heard anything that has been way above and beyond the norm. I'm going to say, I don't know the number offhand, but, you know, finance hasn't reached out, our billing department hasn't reached out and said, you know, hey, we're really struggling with getting payments or anything like that. So, you know, I think from what I'm understanding is it's pretty normal. I'm guessing it's probably higher than, you know, the typical normal, just because of COVID, but there hasn't been anything alarming that I've been seeing or heard about.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions? All right, let's move on to number 3, discussion.
We'll need a motion on the water utility budget.
Okay,
I'll make a motion to pass that.
do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Number 3, discussion and possible action on the 2021 water utility budget.
Okay,
Wastewater.
Wastewater, excuse me.
All right. So here's the wastewater. It's a little smaller. I don't know if hopefully everybody can kind of see this. Just kind of going through the revenues up top. We're anticipating, oh boy, I can probably see it, about $2,451,856. Then kind of the same thing, the same process I use for the water as you scroll down through all of these little, I don't know if I can make this any, oh here. There, that might help. That help?
A little bit. Oh, yeah, there you go.
Okay, all right. So kind of the same process that I go through, you know, putting in my notes on what this expense is actually for. So I don't know if anybody has looked through this and had any questions on that. Again, if we go back up to the my issue sheet, the wastewater budget is balanced, but must use some cash reserves to cover the capital costs listed on the 610 summary fund page, and I'll scroll down to that. These capital costs include the State Highway 35 project, Riverside Drive lift station rehab, Woodland Drive repairs, and a few other minor items. State Highway 35 project was determined to be cash carried since we are borrowing for the wastewater treatment plant. Let me just get back down to okay, so here's your wastewater. So like I had said, here's your revenues here that we're anticipating. We are anticipating some increase in here because City Council did approve an 11% increase for wastewater starting January 1st. That was due to the Clean Water Fund loan that we are taking out for the wastewater treatment plant. So that will be starting January 1st, an 11% increase, and then it was a 38% increase in 2022. That's what we needed to cover or that's the revenue that we needed to generate in order to cover that loan payment once we start repaying that back in 2022. But we did need to have that in place before we could close on the loan, and we're anticipating closing on that loan January 27th is what we're looking at. So, so just everything line by line as we're going through. Once we get down here, here is your bottom line. So we're looking at about 3.7 million in projected costs, which is a 0.04% decrease. Here's your summary pages. And we are at a positive $417. That is without using any of the capital for down here. So I mean, it's a very, very, very tight budget, obviously, at is what we're doing. I'm trying this year to do, to make it all up in the budget instead of using the cash reserves. I don't know if you've noticed, our cash reserves really aren't depleting. They do go up and down throughout the year, just based on what month we're looking at when the quarters are coming up for utility bills and things like that. but they're not really depleting. So we've been getting a lot of work done with what we have. But down here on our revenues, so revenues for city sewer hookups, we increased, which are the revenues that we gain when homes, subdivisions, things like that come in. They have to pay us that hookup fee. History is showing that revenue generated the last 2 years is an average of about $282,000. The following items will need to be paid out of cash reserves to keep the budget balanced. So we've got the $1.2 million for the State Highway 35 project. That's our sewer cost. We've got $45,000 for Riverside Drive lift station rehab, $13,000 for Woodland Drive rehab, some sump pumps, $1,500 for sump pumps down at the wastewater treatment plant. I threw $1,000 in there just miscellaneous for the lower power dam. I know that they're working on it now, but there's always things that come up in terms of riprap that needs to be done, different things that just happen down there. And then $1,000 office equipment for billing, since billing is moving up to there. We are bringing like the folding machine, but I believe our printer is too small to print out, the thousands and thousands of bills that need to be printed every quarter. So I do believe we are going to have to upgrade to a new printer and things of that nature. So that's pretty much your sewer budget.
Just a quick question, Kip. Again, personnel, we see a lift station maintenance personnel up 18%. We see water waste treatment plant up 19%. Can you go through those? Just kind of walk us through them.
Where, you know what line you're on there, David?
Page 15 of 19 on the last packet.
Okay.
So 6, 10, 47, 57, 321.
Okay, right. So what was your question again? I'm sorry.
Just why, again, the larger increases. It's not a crazy amount of money. 5,000, I think, for lift station maintenance. And then wastewater treatment plant is about, I think, just roughly, is it 60,000, maybe more?
So are you talking right here about the 15.27%?
One's 18.13 and one's 19.36 for those two areas. You're right. Yep, above that. Yep. So the first grouping is that 15% increase. If you look up a little bit farther, you see 23% increase. You see a 19% increase, 23% increase for retirement.
Right.
Right where you are, Kip.
12.53.
Yeah. So, I mean, our retirement and our FICA costs, I mean, all these costs are pretty much your standards. We did have a 5% increase. I know it's shown at 12.53% increase, but it is a 5% increase across the board. It just depends on where this falls in these subcategories. Again, like I talked about before, we are trying to make this a little more accurate in terms of what people are actually doing. So if our salary increase goes up, it doesn't mean that, somebody's getting a 23.71% increase or we're not giving staff that increase. It just means that in this subcategory of lift station maintenance is where, we're spending more time there than we have previously.
So a reallocation, basically, you're putting the dollars where they need to be.
We're putting the dollars where they need to be, correct. Yeah, that's a great way to put it. And then you had a question on, what was your other one, Dave?
Oh, just right below that. Wastewater treatment plant was up 19% for personnel.
And again, that's the same thing.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep.
The 5,000 above isn't bad. When you're talking $60,000, that's pretty big. And I know at one time I think it was up farther. It talked about maybe down farther.
And we do have, and keep in mind that we do have.
Receptionist corrected. What does that mean?
That is where was it? Receptionist corrected.
Page 17 and 19?
Yeah. So this is actually, I believe that's receptionist. We do pay for part of the receptionist at City Hall, to take in the bills, to make receipts, things of that nature. So when people are dropping them off or when they drop them off in the mailbox out front, that they get checked in and things like that. So that's what that's referring to right there.
Okay. Thank
Under
you.
under customer accounts. And again, you know, with down at Wastewater, we do have there's a staff of 5 down there now. Well, actually there's 4. We're in the process, hopefully, of hiring someone soon here. But there's a staff of 5, and out of them 5, 2 of them are still on that 5-year program. So we do have to account for those increases in there also.
Okay, thank you.
Kip, going back to your, the 282,000 from reserves, you were way down at the bottom where, I think it was on your issue sheet or, right there. Yep.
Down in here, Mary?
Yep. Which reserve funds are those coming back out of? The future facility fund or?
Those will just come out of our cash reserves, I believe.
Okay. Sorry. I thought the cash reserves were in the negative 800,000 range.
Or, well, out of future, probably out of future facility. I'd have to go back and look at them cash reports, but yeah, probably out of future facility.
Oh, and hey, thank you for sending that response from Allison. The only problem is, of course, I have a ton of questions. So at some point I'll be sending it back to everybody at the commission, and just so you can see what my questions were. Maybe I just don't understand accounting for government, but yeah, I have quite a few questions on that.
Yeah, that's fine.
But thanks for getting that back to me. Oh, and kind of while I'm on the subject, did you ever get an answer back on that other question that I had asked about the claims? And how
I did. Yeah, I did look into that. I believe Aaron was going to, I know I did talk to Aaron about that, and you're going to have to, if North Hudson has an issue with payment, that payment doesn't come through my office. So
okay,
you're going to have to take that up with City Hall and.
Yep. No problem. I just didn't know why there weren't, the claims all of a sudden quit showing up on there.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. That you'd have to take up with him. I'm not exactly sure why, but
okay,
like I said, all checks and stuff go through City Hall. So.
Thank you.
Any other questions for Kip? Okay. Then we will move to get a motion on the wastewater utility budget.
Move to approve?
We got a second?
Second.
Who seconded that? Sorry.
Kurt.
Kurt, thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, move to adjourn. Get a motion?
So moved?
Second?
Second. David.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, everybody. Meeting adjourned.
Thank you,
Kip,
everyone.
nice job. Thank you.
Yeah.
Great.
Thank you.
You bet.
Yep.
Have a
thank
good night,
you.
everybody.
Thanks, you guys.
Night.